Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to Talkin' Trains. Happy to have you all here tonight, and really looking forward to what we've got in store. Got some really fun stuff to talk about tonight. Got some really fun projects to work on, and kind of starting over here at the workbench, but we're not going to be here for long, actually. And that's because most of what we have to do tonight is over on the layout itself and also behind me on the mobile workbench. So we'll be popping back and forth between a couple of different areas of the basement tonight, but wanted to start over here because I ended up picking up a couple of things on Saturday and thought it was kind of a crazy story worth sharing with everybody. So figured we'd start here, and yeah. So Saturday I was wrapping up working on GWT 32, which is sitting right here on the workbench. I just need to do a little bit of paint touch-up before I box it up and pack it away for the RPM. So I was working on 32 and putting the profile for proto throttle operations onto the decoder. Programmed in okay, plopped it down on the layout, and then all of a sudden it made the most horrible screeching noise I had ever heard, which was concerning. Ended up being, I had an issue with the motor during initial testing, but I thought it was fine. But it ended up being a motor issue that caused a decoder issue. So I scrambled. I ran over to Dispatch Junction, the local hobby shop, and started looking through their pre-owned Athearn to ready to roll equipment, and ended up picking out something that I decided was going to be worthwhile to grab. And I grabbed it temporarily to put a motor into number 32. So the motor from this unit is actually in number 32 now. And I'll have to order a motor and trucks actually for this particular locomotive. But yeah, I knew an Athearn to ready to roll motor was not gonna get here in time to throw in 32 before the RPM. So my first thought was to basically find a donor locomotive, which I've done, and it's an intriguing donor locomotive because it also should be able to be a freelance locomotive once I've got the replacement motor and trucks on hand. But this is it. This is currently a Chicago, Fort Wayne, and Eastern SD40T-2, so a tunnel motor. And I'm actually gonna strip this down and put it into Genesee, Wyoming transportation paint. So we're deleting the Orangeborg, not just through our freelance story now, but also through actually stripping down G&W models and putting them in the freelance paint scheme. So this will be a fun upcoming project at some point. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I've been working on way too many locomotives on Talkin' Trains and not doing a lot of the work that I need to on the main layout itself. So I think the goal is going to kind of be to work on this, you know, maybe upwards of 6 months before I get to a locomotive like this. So could be a little while. It's going to be pretty cool though, because this is actually not going to be in Genesee, Wyoming paint. The initial plan was to do that with the SD45 that I picked up at Springfield, but that one is now going to be in Genesee, Wyoming transportation paint, and this one is going to be the project that I was alluding to with that one. I just think the SD45 would look a little bit better in the GWT paint, and this would make a little bit more sense to be the particular project that I was alluding to with that. So should be pretty exciting to do that, and will allow me to connect with some additional freelancers for sure. And then I also picked up one other locomotive while I was there. This was a pretty good deal, and Chris, you might cringe at me, especially seeing your most recent purchase there with the X nickel or the nickel plate that's going into your freelance scheme. But I picked up a nickel plate unit myself to to strip down. This is not going to go in my freelance scheme either. It's going to be a freelance patched out unit for a different freelance. And this one is technically going to be the locomotive that was traded for this U23B that hopefully I'll be sending out probably next week to its new owner. So basically this is going to be the locomotive I got back in the trade when I was purging GEs off the roster. So it should be pretty exciting. And I won't name names, but it looks like the gentleman that the trade is happening with is out there in the chat tonight. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to kind of, getting to go through all of that stuff. But anyway, before we head over to the main layout, which is where we're going to be working first tonight, let me just stop in and say hi to everybody in the chat. Looks like we got Adam here early. Looks like Dennis was here right behind him. Garrett was here. Welcome into you guys. Dave Hensel, welcome into you. Banu, welcome in. Chris, welcome in. Bill, welcome in. Dennis, glad to have you for the first time. Hopefully it won't be your last. We're happy to have you. Brandon's here, welcome in. John's here, welcome in. Happy to have you all here. And let's get to work, shall we? There's a lot of fun projects to do. I'll flip you guys over. This is what you're looking at now, and I'll walk my way over there. This is the Finger Lakes Railway engine shop, and this is kind of where we're going to be spending a little bit of our time working tonight. I did a ton of work yesterday on the structure itself to get it ready to go in, and it's been gluing up all afternoon, so everything should be dry and say, oh, I say that, and of course it's not. Okay, well, I'll give you guys a quick peek, and then we'll put the weights back on. But this is the base of the structure here. This is just a slightly kit bashed Walthers engine house, basically to have 2 bays. And then I also made my own inspection pit. Did a little bit of weathering in there. These are some Wallace Locomotive Works 3D printed things. I actually got like a bargain bag of stuff from him at Springfield that had 1 toolbox in it, and then it had 4 sinks. So actually what I did is I cut the back off of the sink and flipped them over, painted them red so that they're like snap-on cabinets basically. But I'll give you a quick closer look at the inspection pit itself, because I had some fun working in there. Did a little bit of weathering in general on the structure, but also did a little bit of streaking along the bottom of the pit, which has been a pretty fun project for sure. And then I also have those yellow steps that actually came out of a random Walthers kit. They were just black. I cut them down to size and painted them yellow so that they were looking good as safety steps. But anyway, so the point of tonight's work over here. Oh, actually there's also, I'll show you, there's one wall-mounted cabinet in there as well. The plan will be eventually to really build this thing out and have a lot of different detail as a part of this build. But for right now, that's just kind of what I had on hand, and I'll work on, kind of filling out the rest of the structure as I have time. But anyway, the plan for tonight over here is actually going to be to work on what is behind the engine shop. So let me put my 123 my 123 block back on over here so that hopefully this has the chance to dry up okay. It's a little bit unlevel. It's not a ton, so I wasn't worried about like actually making sure it was level, but it's a little level coming off of this track and then into this cork. maybe I should have worried about it a little bit more, but I didn't. So that's why I've got this gluing in so that the foundation actually looks level once everything's said and done. But where we're going to be working is actually behind the engine shop, and this hopefully should be dry. This has been, like I said, it's been drying all day. So I cut up some styrene earlier in the day and got it painted concrete color. So basically what we're going to be doing, part of what we're going to be doing is putting in a concrete pad on the back side of the engine shop. And this is what Finger Lakes actually has back there. So we're going to be gluing this in. This is just kind of to mock it up, but they have, actually, let me go grab the other little detail part that we need for back here. So I got some other things from Wallace Locomotive Works at Springfield, but behind the shop they actually have a concrete pad where they have all of their jack stands so that they can lift up a locomotive and pull a traction motor and that sort of thing. So that's exactly what this is going to be. This is going to be where we can really the whole goal of this is really ultimately just to get me like 2 more spots worth of engine storage, but it works out that I can model the locomotive facility. But yeah, the idea is that basically the jacking pads just kind of live out here, and they you know, as they need to lift up locomotives to work on them, they'll wheel them into place and everything. But that's essentially what the scene's going to look like when everything's said and done. But we've got a little bit of work to get there. This is obviously just mocked up, nothing's glued in there. But the goal for tonight is going to be, I need to get a good layer of paint down on the cork, just to make sure that everything is as watertight as possible before I'm doing ballast and everything. And then we can also get the concrete foundation glued into place as well. So a little bit of work to do here. I've got my acrylics over here, and we'll start by getting the brown paint on. I'll likely end up doing a little bit of work over here as well. There's actually a concrete pad out front of the locomotive shop as well that I haven't cut that yet out of styrene. So let me catch up with the chat here and see what everybody's talking about. So Dennis, the numbering series is different over here because here N-Scale Train Boy Dennis is number 1, and we don't see a ton of Dennis number 1 from Heath's streams, but he pops in from time to time. So maybe if you're going to be a recurring guest, you can move up to number 2 over here, and he can be number 3. Yep, Dennis definitely doing some freelance stuff. He streamed earlier in the afternoon just because he had some stuff going on this evening. But he had a great stream working on his new GP9 and a boxcar, which was fun. Chris, I mean, if it works, you know, with the freelance, it works, you know. Uh-oh, 2 Chris's out here. We're gonna have to number Chris's as well. Yeah, the pit did come out good. I was really nervous about that. The plastic cement that I used to kind of, or the plastic filler that I used really wasn't looking very smooth at first, but ended up working out really well. So I'm happy with that. Some LEDs in the pit, yeah, that would be really cool. Maybe it's worth, you know, circling back on someday. Oh my gosh, now we got 3 Chris's out here. Holy guacamole. Oh, that's cool, Dennis. That'll be really fun to see you do a clinic there. I'm officially doing my young people in model railroading clinic, but actually you can't even register yet. They don't have it open. It's not normally open this early, but yeah, that's really cool. And Milwaukee area rail fan, welcome into you as well. Happy to have you guys. Okay, so enough chatting. Let's get some paint on this cork so that we can keep this project moving forward. The plan is, I mean, the styrene, that's the cement, doesn't go all the way to the edge, so I'll end up kind of building up ballast to it, but should be relatively simple. Just want to get some paint down on the cork first, just to kind of protect everything. Ultimately, I should have done this before I put the track down, but oh well. As long as most of it's protected. The crazy thing about this cork is that it absorbs, you know, anything moist like no tomorrow. Like I'm almost out of this, and you can see that I don't even have like good full coverage. I don't necessarily have to worry about the ties being painted, just because it's going to be under. Well, actually at the back it's not going to be under. But, oh, interesting. There's something funky happening with this. Oh, I didn't know this. This piece of track is all messed up. I just got a piece of scrap track out of the back of my or out of my spare parts bin. Let's just see if it's gonna work out okay for me. I think it's still gonna work fine. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Just a little messed up. Well, glad you could make it in tonight, Chris. It's awesome to see you here live. Milwaukee area rail fan, this is the engine house right here. So we are, actually, I'll swing you guys over because I've got the camera on the gimbal, but I'll swing you around a little bit. But this is Geneva Yard right here. So there's the engine tracks. We're working on the end of the engine tracks. And then there's the whole of Geneva Yard. It looks like I ran out of swivel. So there's the whole of Geneva Yard. There's the new backdrop progress going in and everything. But yeah, so just so you know where you are on the layout and everything. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, Chris, you would know since you were just out there, right? So I guess if we're numbering Chris's, Chris Kroll has got to be Chris number 1 because I've known him far longer than anybody else, and then Chris Ketch I've known a good little while now as well. So I think we're for numbering Chris's. That's our numbering series. A little bit of paint down there. All right, I'm gonna try my best to. Yeah. The beauty of this cork being so absorbent is that it's going to be dry in the blink of an eye, which means that we can still continue to getting our new concrete glued down pretty quick. And we'll just do the front of the building here as well. Might need to do some touch-up later. That's not too big a deal. I don't think I'm gonna try to do in between the gauge. That just seems like I'm asking for trouble. And I just got a little bit of overhang on this backside that I'll try to take care of. Okay, cool. Let me just take a quick look, make sure I've gotten everything. I think I'm happy with it. More to get here on the front side. Try to get the edges too. All right. Set that off to the side. Looks like we got a little piece of foam. I tried to vacuum in here. I must not have done a very good job. Yep, that would make Chris number 3. Or Chris failing number 3. Excuse me. Hey Dale, welcome in. That's exciting to hear that you're working through the new scheme. That's awesome. All right. I think honestly, oh, I got paint on the top side of this, which eventually I want to weather, but not just yet. All right. So I think the biggest thing is just going to be making sure that the gauge is sufficient between the rails here for the interior piece, which I did check. I had a test piece over there and I had pretty good clearance, but now I'm looking at it and thinking I don't know that I really had as good a clearance as I thought I did. Sorry guys, go get a drink here. I don't think I have as good a clearance as I thought. So we might have to go back over to the workbench and get this squared away a little bit better. In the meantime though, I'll get the side pieces gluing in. Might as well do that. Got my Mod Podge here. Just gonna use some of that. A nice coating along where it's gonna hit the ties so it glues up well there, and then down at the bottom where it's gonna make contact with the cork. And I'll make this the back side just because, yeah, that'll be the back side. I don't think I'm gonna need to weigh this down at all. It's sitting pretty nice and flush with the railhead, a little bit below the railhead, honestly. Okay, so that side of things should be good to go. Just make sure I can weight this down if I need to. This side's seeming like it's not quite laying down quite as flush as the other side was. There we go. Okay, and we'll hop back over to the workbench and make sure that we get this piece kind of sanded down enough that we've got a good gap between the gauge. Chris catch is number 1 and number 2. Nice. Very nice. All right, let me pop you guys back over to the workbench here. All right, got some sandpaper right here. This is kind of a bummer because I did get it all painted in as the concrete gray, so we'll have to retouch that up, but oh well. Rather have it work reliably. And then I do have a panel of track here as well to check with. Well, Dennis has got to go have dinner. I was really excited for tonight's stream. We've still got a whole nother project that once I've got everything gluing down over there at the engine shop, we're gonna dive into, that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So make sure you stay tuned, because we're not done after this piece of concrete fits safely between the gauge of the tracks. Far from it. Okay, so it looks like really the issue is the ends. I'm going to try to just specifically take a little bit off the ends here. Well, both sides were a little uneven at them, so. Which is weird, because, you know, it was, nope, we're still not good. Oy vey. This is the factory edge here. I did sand that down a little bit. I probably shouldn't have, now that I'm thinking about it, but oh well. The track should be straight. It's Atlas. It's got memory. It springs right back into being straight. It might be it might be skew of the lens on the camera. It's no, it's not straight. All right, let me grab another piece. This is a piece of Pico that we're going to use for the other project that we're working on, but should work for this purpose as well. Adam's saving the day. That's the piece I was using earlier too, when it looked like it was going to fit okay. So, okay. Still need to take a little bit out, like right here. And you can see if it's straight or not better than I can, because you got the direct overhead view. For me, from the side, it's tougher to see. So while I'm over here and I've got, you know, good access to the chat, what's everybody working on? Would love to know what everybody else is working on. I know there's a lot of people who are fast at work at projects to get them ready for the Rochester RPM, and we're really looking forward to that here locally, without a doubt. Yeah, still need to come down a little bit more. I might need to get a higher grit sandpaper so that I'm taking a little bit more off. Yeah, Rochester RPM, we are ecstatic about the amount of registrants we've gotten. We've actually gotten now to, oh, I just got stuff all over my keyboard. Let me set that off to the side. We've gotten way more registrants than we ever anticipated having. So we're super thrilled, you know, especially about the amount of people who are thinking that this is an event worth traveling in for, which is very flattering to us. So really looking forward to playing host for that event. And that's kind of why we're working on the engine shop. I wanted to have something done before you know, I had a bunch of people here that some of them have been here more recently and would be a little disappointed by the lack of progress that's happened on the main layout. Okay, I think I can work with this now. I'm gonna go get a car just so that I can actually really test this in earnest. A nice Rapido Berlin Mills boxcar here. Let's see. Still jumping a little bit. Why are we jumping? Okay. Yep, not quite enough space. Okay, let's keep going. All right, let me scroll up and see. Banu's suffering through Freemo and cursing his local Freemo guy. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Otherwise, good. That's good, Banu. Adam's working on ruler stuff. Rick's working on his Shay. Awesome. Oh, cool, Model Railroad Show. That's exciting. Gotcha, Garrett. Chris, that'll be exciting. I hope your decals get there in time for the RPM. With there being, you know, on-site ops for the Freemo layout, you know, you'd be more than welcome to bring that as long as it's fully functional. Oh man, filler's still too wet on 203. That stinks, Garrett. Chris is working on his detection boards. Exciting. Jeez, Garrett. It stinks that you keep having issues with that thing. I wonder if it might be worth throwing decoder buddies in them, but I know you said you're still having the issues with 03 and that's got one, so maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should just round the edges of it down a little bit. That's good, Chris. What brand is it, Chris? Is it just an Atlas? Problem is this width wants to just not sit in there evenly. right, I think I'm gonna call that good. QSI, gotcha. Boy, guys, I'm sorry about the coughing tonight. All right, well, my mobile camera is over on the layout itself, so I'm not gonna be able to show you guys this, but I'm gonna get a fresh layer of concrete, Vallejo concrete on the sides of this really quickly. Okay, so that's all good. Let me get my airbrush cleaned out here quickly. Shut that off. All right, so we're gonna have to let that dry for a couple of minutes before we get on to anything else on the main layout. So I'm gonna go get the mobile camera and I'll be right back, and we're gonna throw it up over the new diorama build that we're doing that I'm super excited to share with you guys. It's weird. Why is it so zoomed in? That's weird. Hang on, guys. Bear with me just a second. This is strange. Trying to get the mobile camera set up, and it's very zoomed in on everything. So hopefully this is gonna work okay. Oh. All right. So this is what you're looking at now is your first look at my brand new diorama that I'm building, which is pretty exciting for me. I hope this cork is, oh no. Well, I was gonna say I hope this cork is good and dry, but it's already popping up on me. That stinks. Dang. Well, hopefully the other side's okay. We'll see. I've had it drying over here with the heater running for the last like 3 to 4 hours. Usually that's enough time for Mod Podge, but That plow will be a lot of fun once it's done, Garrett, that's for sure. Brandon still saw the comment from Banu. Oh man, that stinks, Garrett, that they're all just bad wires. All right, please tell me that this piece is all down safely. Pretty much. But anyway, so, man, I'm not happy with how much you guys can see. Why is it that you can only see so much? Is that what the issue was the whole time? There we go. You guys can see a little bit more now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo one side of pork. I had a piece of plywood down on this side, and it's all nice and even. Got good adhesion. This side, it's all bubbled up. So we're gonna have to redo that, which is not that big a deal, but. I'm using sheet cork for a very specific reason here. Well, a couple of different reasons, honestly, but anyway, this diorama is going to be a bit of the freelance that runs between Attica and Batavia, New York, along the old Erie right-of-way. And it's actually a little chunk of it that's directly behind my in-laws' house. Like, I don't know how many years ago now, while I was still in college, I took my old Ford Escape back down a farmer's lane and got back to the right-of-way and saw it myself. And I might try to do that again at some point soon, just to go see it and get reference photos. But it's really cool. There's the creek that my actual Fremo modules are named after, which is the Tonawanda Creek, runs up from Attica into Batavia, and along part of the run, the Batavia branch, the Attica branch, runs right alongside the Tonawanda Creek. So that section happens to be directly behind my in-laws' house, which is why I was able to drive back there and everything, which was pretty cool. And I'm going to model it because right as it runs alongside, I should have specified this, I'm sorry. Right as it runs alongside the tracks, it then curves and goes underneath the tracks, which should be pretty cool to try and model. So the plan is to replicate that scene as best we can. I'm actually, because this sheet of cork is laying so much better than this one, going to kind of spin this because this is the area I need to be able to work on tonight. But this is about a 4-foot diorama, 2 foot wide as well. So it's fairly sizable. Might be encroaching on what you could really call a module. Oh, that's cool, Chris. Yeah, it is in modern day. Much of the old line is now ATV trail and snowmobile trail in the winter. So. But yeah, so the plan is going to be that. Actually, no, I don't want to spin this around. I do is I don't have the cork in completely centered. I actually have it offset because it's a little bit wide for a very specific reason. And that's because, and some of you might know this if you're familiar with local history, but the line that was in up until Conrail was the old Erie Attica branch, but a long time ago, there was actually two parallel lines that ran right next to each other all the way from Batavia to Attica, and one was the New York Centrals. The New York Centrals ended up getting abandoned well before Conrail. I don't even think it made it out of steam era. So it didn't last very long, basically, is what it comes down to. But you can still tell along a lot of portions of the right-of-way that it's been graded for two main lines. And when I say there were parallel main lines, I mean there were portions where they were directly next to each other the whole way. It wasn't like one was, 50 feet off to the side and paralleling. They were very close together. So that's why the cork is so wide. The plan is, my center line is really about here on the diorama. So by putting the Erie main line in here, you can see that there's still, roadbed enough for a second main line there. And, I'll do the scenery in a way that it doesn't look like much, but the plan will be that the creek kind of comes in from the left here, curves, and it really does genuinely do like a 90-degree, comes under the right-of-way here and comes out to the front of the module. So this is going to be fun to work on. I'm hoping to have something to show for myself by the time the RPM comes around on Friday. I don't think I'm going to be able to have anything done by then, but it's just going to be a fun little thing to display my freelance rolling stock on is really what I wanted. I didn't want to have my rolling stock out completely all on just a boring table. I wanted to be able to have something fun to display it on. So that's the goal here. Yeah, I'm happy with the way this piece of cork laid down, but I think we have a little bit of work to do on this piece. So I'm going to try my best to peel this off right now, and that way we can get it re-gluing on. It shouldn't be 100% dry just yet. Nope. And this is sheet cork that I get in a roll from Michael's, and it has really bad memories. And what that means is that it stays in that rounded form. So you really got to be careful when you glue this stuff to make sure that it stays flat. But it's far cheaper than any other cork that you can get that's actually model railroading related. So I like to use it for these sorts of projects just because it saves me a couple bucks, This whole diorama I'm probably going to be in for not a significant amount of money at all. That's for sure. All right, let me see if I can swivel you guys so you can see where we're working a little bit better. Yes, perfect. Central abandoned in 36. Okay, gotcha. Appreciate having Chris on the stream tonight with all the knowledge. Whoops. Let's see if I can move my light here a little bit so I don't bonk into that again. All right, so let's get some glue reapplied here. And since this piece laid down so well, now I should be able to use that scrap piece of plywood over here. Yeah, so there's just a single track plate girder bridge in the scene right now. I meant to print out a shot from Google Maps just to be able to show you guys, but I didn't have a chance, unfortunately. Okay, that should be good. But yeah, it's just a single track plate girder bridge that I've actually already got the bridge done last night. I've had this bridge on hand for quite a while. And last night I kind of just impulsively decided that I was doing this project. because I realized that pretty much everything that I wanted to do for the RPM, I was done with, which is a weird spot for me to be in, because I'm not used to not being under the wire. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at not procrastinating. So. Get some weight on this, let it dry overnight, and then hopefully we'll be good to go there. I was hoping that I was going to be able to do a little bit of work getting the main line kind of situated, which I still should be able to, even with it like this. What I'd like to do is kind of get an idea of where the creek's going to be and all of that stuff so that I can take everything out to the garage once this is dry and cut it all together and make sure it's taken care of. Yeah, I've seen that video, but that's definitely worth sharing with everybody, Chris. Let me make sure you're a moderator real quick so that you can send the link. Dennis is back. Chris, you should be a moderator now so that you can share that video. Chris number 1, to be clear. Okay, so this is the bridge, by the way. You know, the real thing I don't have any reference images of, but I know it's crusty and rusty in real life. There's ATV tracks going over it now, and they really just have a bunch of plywood basically covering the whole thing. So it's not much to look at in real life, and you know, as of 05, when my freelance would be running over it, I'm presuming it would have been the same bridge that's there now, in a serviceable condition still, but you know, not looking the best. The lore behind the Attica branch for my freelance is that you know, they bought the line from Conrail, or at least GWT bought the line from Conrail, and because there was another freelance involved, the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pennsylvania, that had an interchange with the Southern Tier line already, the branch from Batavia to Attica really didn't get used for much other than servicing the Cargill that's in Alexander, and because of that, the lore is going to be that, you know, the line's kind of not rated for that much now. Now that they're an independent company and not a part of BR&P, they're using it to interchange with Norfolk Southern, in this case Norfolk Southern, but they still have a little bit of work to do to make the line look good or perform to the best of its ability. So we're going to kind of model some crappy looking track is basically what I'm getting to, and included in that is a crappy looking bridge as well. So I got this all weathered last night. You know, used a couple of different colors of brown acrylics, and then came back with a couple layers of brown oils to do some streaking effects and everything. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Looking forward to having this, you know, actually installed on the layout and everything, or on the diorama. As far as the rest of the scene's concerned, there's going to be a farmer's lane that kind of comes across this right-hand side. Let me make sure you guys, I might need to scoot you guys over a little bit more so that hopefully you can see this. Yeah, so towards the edge of this, there's going to be a farmer's lane just about here. Dirt road. That's the one that I took back all the way from my in-laws' house many years ago. Creek's going to be like here, and then main line, single track main line on what was graded for a double track right there. So Awesome, Dennis. Rick, we're talking about the Erie Railroad's Batavia branch, and we're talking about the section between Batavia and Attica. So this is the line that would have come up and connected with the Griegsville secondary for the D&H coal train, or the D&H salt trains off the G&W. Well, this would have been north of that section because that was the last chunk of this line that was still in service. But yeah. Okay, so what I can do is you know, get my lines traced out here for everything that I'm planning on doing while everything dries. I can't cut anything tonight, which I was hoping I was going to be able to do, but first off, all we're looking to do is kind of have like a single track or a single rutted farmer's lane. I've got a tractor over here that I can kind of get a good idea of how wide it needs to be going over the tracks. This is just right off the main layout on my Himrod scene, but this is kind of, you know, the width of the farmer's lane that's going to be around here. So yeah, I think we've got good glue action still. Nothing's popping up. So here's about where the farmer's lane is. I think what I'm going to do, so the creek, like I said, is like a 90 coming in here, but the farmer's lane kind of follows the creek after it gets over the tracks. So why don't I get the creek laid in first? I did the math on this last night. Behind so it kind of is narrower behind the tracks, and then as it gets to the tracks and rounds that 90-degree corner, it widens. So when it comes under the bridge, it's about at a, it's probably about 5.5 inches is what the scale measurement works out to. I'm gonna have to kind of have it pretty close to the bridge abutments, you know, and I can backfill in, if that makes any sort of sense at all. But that means, yeah, we're gonna take my big old drywall square here and just use it as a straight edge, not necessarily a square. And I think that's just about where I want the bridge, is it's gonna kind of work out to be pretty much right there. So we'll mark in the creek on both sides of the bridge. And when I cut this, I actually cut it at an angle. I've got a jigsaw that I set at a 45 degree so that I can get a good beveled cut in. So there's the creek itself. On this side, I'm gonna kind of have to freehand it a little bit on the back side. The tough part is knowing, like, if I should, here, let me see if I can get you guys to a point where you can see on the back side of this thing at all. Move my light over. All right, so there's the back side. You can see the creek here. So now the idea is that I need to have a good idea of where this kind of ends up coming off the diorama, because I don't want it all the way up to the end plate, I don't think. The end of the diorama. Glad Dennis had a nice tasty dinner. So you can fix, okay, well, hey, maybe the response time is what needs to be sacrificed for reliable operation, right? I'll see if I can find that video later, Chris. I might be able to, I'm not sure. But we'll see. Okay, so it really does, for a good good little while run parallel to the tracks, like longer than my diorama is going to be. But I think just for posterity's sake, I'm going to kind of try to taper it off. So we're kind of working with, let's get an initial straight edge in here. This creek too, it winds like crazy. It's kind of crazy how much that it moves around. Backdrop up here. Okay, so I need like 4 inches. Let me go get my other square, my smaller one, just because this is too unwieldy. All right, so the creek itself back here is going to be 4 inches. I've got probably what amounts to about 7 inches of space between. It might be closer to 8. Yeah, I've got about 8 inches of space to play with between. Whoops, sorry for shaking you guys. Between the roadbed itself and the edge of the diorama. There is a pretty good amount of space between the diorama and, or between the roadbed and where the creek is until that 90 degree. So I think, honestly, what I might do is actually only model one bank of the creek. So I might do like, so here's it's 4 inches wide, and say that the other bank is kind of just off the edge of my diorama. I think I like that idea. I'm gonna lay it out with the Sharpie and see how I like it, and then we'll go in and model in some, or trace in some of the curves that we've got to do. So, okay, so there's what I'm hoping is going to kind of be the edge. And then honestly, I'll probably just kind of gently taper it back towards the edge of the module when I cut it. Hopefully, can you guys see where I'm? Yes, okay. So it'll kind of meander away from the tracks a little bit. It might want to do it a little bit gentler than that though. But I also still want to start it there. I'll just get a little bit closer to the end. Remind myself when I go to cut it. All right. And then I'm not joking, it really genuinely does like a 90 degree curve into the bridge section. So I'm gonna try to kind of get that going as best I can. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then somewhere around here, we'll actually start to model both banks, I think. And this is again where it starts to widen a little bit. Cool. All right, so that's about where I think I want to cut everything in. I'm pretty happy with that. Just a matter of getting my cork dried in. Originally, I shouldn't have really even put the cork on yet. I should have done all this cutting first before I laid the cork on. But I was having trouble visualizing how I wanted the track to run. And I wanted to have the cork down so that I had a better idea of my guardrails as far as that's concerned. But once I started realizing that actually I wanted a double track, well, I wanted the grading for what amounts to a double track, and I was really just going to have to keep the track pretty straight. The idea behind having it meander a little bit kind of went out the window, and the putting the cork down made less and less sense. So a little bit unfortunate, but the cork's down, it's drying in now, so we'll let that happen and then cut it all at the same time. Not too big of a deal there. Oh, the other thing we got to do is mark in the farmer's lane that we're going to do. Let me get you guys back to where you're going to be able to see where we're working there. That should be good. Hopefully I'm not making anybody too ridiculously seasick. So yeah, the farmer's lane kind of is up the bank from the creek. So I want to kind of keep it somewhat close to the edge of the module, or at the end of the diorama, but not too close. When you're done with the plow, it'll be more reliable than the prototype. Nice, Garrett. So I think the farmer's lane I'm going to have like right here-ish. Actually, let me just... Ridiculous? Hi, Rob. Welcome in, my friend. Actually, maybe... Oh, this might be somewhat cringe, but I'm going to pull the whole scene up on my phone and try to show it to you guys through there on the freelance map. Ooh, too far. Oh, if it loads. Come on. Load, please. Should have dropped a pin in so that I could see it. Okay, there's the Griegsville connector. It's north of that. Bear with me here, guys. Where's my in-laws? There's my in-laws. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is it. Let's see if I can get you guys. Oops. I don't know why it doesn't want to angle any further than that. Okay, well, here. So this is basically the area. You can see it literally, that's Tonawanda Creek. Does a 90-degree curve right at the bridge. And then there's the farmer's lane, which I'm gonna have to compress a little bit and kind of bring it a little bit closer to the inside of the bounds of my diorama in order to model, but no big deal. But yeah, that'll be pretty exciting see done, that's for sure. Get you guys pulled back up here on the chat. When did I become too fancy? So fancy? Fastest span hammer? No. No, we know you too well to worry about that, Rob. Okay, so let me just mark in my farmer's lane here that I'm planning on doing. Oh, let's see. right about there is probably good. I don't want to bring it too close to the edge of the module because I may or may not have other plans for this eventually. My tractor, I'll make it wide enough for a dually tractor to go down. Okay, and actually, let me just double check that it does, yeah, it does kind of pull off and parallel the creek, so I'll make sure we mark that in. Probably make sure it's a little bit smoother of a transition than that, but not that these are going to matter because this is actually going to get painted before, but it at least gives you guys an idea of how this diorama is going to end up working out. Cool. Well, we've got that all laid out and it's looking good here. Excited to progress on that a little bit more. Like I said, I don't know how far along this will be prior to the RPM. I'm planning on taking it as a work in progress. And then in future years, I hope to progress with it a little bit more so that it becomes a really great place for me to display some of my freelance stuff. So. Aw, Rob, I'm sorry to hear that, man. If you can steal away at all to get there, you know, let us know. If there's anything else that we can do to help, let us know as well. It would be nice to see if there's any chance of it, but. Okay, so this is pretty much all I can do over here for tonight. I was hoping, you know, the cork would be a little bit drier by now, but unfortunately it's not. So I'll have to leave this for the time being just to dry so that I can keep moving along. But yeah, the overall plan is going to be that this is going to be, you know, kind of double-sided, or there's two layers of inch-thick foam. So this piece of foam will get this stuff glued to the top of it, and then the creek bed will just be on the top of this piece of foam. So it's 2 inches thick, should be relatively rigid and durable and ready to go in that regards. But anyway, I'm gonna get you guys moved back over to the main layout so that we can get our stuff done over there. But hang on one second, let me put you on, we'll be right back, and then I'll get everything moved over. camera back over here. So Rob, no, I don't have any more openings for my sessions. Unfortunately, I tried actually. I was hoping to get Mike and Eric into my session for a while, but unfortunately they didn't pre-register, and you have to pre-register for the convention to get in to the op sessions, just because we've got so many people that want to operate. So I actually technically am over my operator limit. I usually like to have 10 operators. I've got 11 plus Ed is going to come do my yard, Rob, just so you know as well. Let me get just ran over back to the workbench to get my centerpiece of the concrete for the back pad. Light back on. There we go. Fancy Paul Fancy, yep. All right, so here's our centerpiece of the back concrete pad here. Let's hope that this is gonna fit a little bit better now. Let's see if I can kind of just, oops, and right off the back of the, well, I think actually the best way to do this is just gonna be to put a little bit of Mod Podge on the bottom of that, drop it down into the gauge, and hope for the best. Maybe once it's dried in, if there is any sort of issues with the flanges, I can take an X-Acto and clean it out a little bit better. Go. I don't want to have a ton on this, but it might just work out that way anyway. Let me see if I can just eyeball this into good position. Pretty good right there. Got a little bit of glue that popped up, but I think it's gonna work. I should have just left it alone. All right, I'm gonna leave that like that for now. Little jacks, back pad. And since we've still got plenty of time left on the stream, we can actually start doing a little bit of ballasting back here, which should be fun. So I'm gonna go grab everything I need in order to do that. See if we're dry enough yet with this. Nope, of course not, but I'm still gonna do this anyway because this will be fun to look at while I go grab my ballasting supplies. Check that out, pretty sweet. just about exactly what I had in mind when I started working on this. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna go grab what I need to do some ballasting and we'll get to it. Honestly, didn't think that we were gonna get that far tonight, but glad that we did. One project is progressing further than I anticipated, and the other one is going a little slower than I anticipated. All right, is that my blend? Let's see. Cool. Spoon. Nice. All right, lots of ballasting supplies. So, as far as how I intend this to be sort of modeled, this is my intent. The plan is to kind of model it with part of the roof off so that you can see in there, see the interior, see that there's an inspection pit, and also see what locomotives are hiding in there in case you're using them during an op session. Because ultimately what this comes down to is this is an extension of my engine shop lead, or my engine track leads, because I ran out of room to store locomotives. So even though there's going to be locomotives stored on these couple of tracks, doesn't mean that they're technically in service or being serviced, if that makes sense. Hey Dennis, welcome. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. But yeah, so let's get some ballasting in. Garrett, eventually I want to do the trusses, but for right now, no. But I do want to. Scott did that with his Winchester and Western, which I haven't seen him on stream in a little while. I wonder how he's doing. Should check in with him. But yeah, the eventual plan will be to do it that way. But for right now, just getting this on the layout and done was the main goal. And then, you know, the ultimate goal is to get, you know, kind of base level scenery done on the layout itself before the 28 convention. And then once base level scenery is done on the whole layout, we'll kind of start circling back and doing some hyper detailing work as we go. So yeah. Okay, so the way this is in real life, actually I should take the actual exterior of the engine shop off again. The way this looks in real life is actually, oh, I just moved that. Hang on. Man. Sorry, guys. Oh. Interesting. There's something going on over the inspection pit where this car's hanging up. Huh. There we go. I don't know that this is quite right still. The biggest problem is that it's kind of stuck in between being able to sit on top of the tie plates and wanting to slide down in between them. It's just not the right width. I think that will work though. I'm gonna leave it for now and we'll come back and adjust it. What did I buy for you, Britt? What do you mean? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so the plan is to kind of model this with a little bit of ballast off the back. In actuality, this track beyond the engine shop actually continues probably, you know, another 100 to 200 feet behind it for more locomotive storage, usually for projects that aren't quite done, but can't be in the shop itself, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna kind of get the feel for that a little bit, but can't really do much as far as actually having that track in. And it looks like, I was just looking at Google Maps today, and it looks like they actually ended up recently tying this track back in to the main line, but because I curve immediately, can't really do that. I think eventually when I redo my backdrops, I may end up adding a little bit more land back on to this whole situation, just so that I can kind of model something that's a good scene break between, you know, this sheer cliff that I've currently got behind the locomotive shop and the Cayuga Causeway. There's, in actuality, I don't know, 15 to 20 miles worth of track between Geneva and the Causeway, so it's not quite prototypical in that regard, that's for sure. All right, so I've got my regular ballast mix here. Some of that down on the back side here, close to the tracks. Having to build it up a little bit to get to the profile of the concrete. Oh, I gotta go get my ballast brush here. See, how well can you guys see back there? I'll move you guys in a little bit closer here. smooth this out a little bit. "20 minutes later, yeah." All right, so there's my regular railroad ballast in, and then I've actually got a little bit of number 50, which is a little bit finer of a ballast that I'm going to kind of do around the side of the building and everything. Actually got a couple of different colors of number 50. Got a dark one and then this light one. I do a little bit of a mix actually. I've actually got a bit of a mix already in dark. Maybe I should, because I'm going to run out of the dark if I don't mix it. Could have probably built up the side a little bit better here so that I didn't have to do it with ballast, but just ran out of time and this will work. Oh, 20 miles, yeah. That'd be great, Garrett. Especially being that it's at the causeway. A little bit of blend action going there. Okay. Actually, it just occurred to me that what I can do to kind of even out the seam between the cork and the foam is just fill it with a little bit coarser of a ballast before I put down the fine. Had I thought about it, I might have done a little bit of this ballast work prior to making the. Oh, no, that spring's not missing, but it was stuck open. It was weird. But yeah, I would have done a little bit of this ballast work prior to securing down the base plate for the building, but oh well. Just ordered decals. Oh well, Garrett. I gotta be careful not to. That's gonna be dicey. This is part of the reason why I would never use Atlas turnouts again if I was to start over. It's mostly not even, you know, to do with the switch stands themselves, or the switches themselves. It's mostly due to the fact that you gotta use these goofy Caboose Industry throws, and when you ballast, you're cheating death, hoping not to jam them up. I think the plan will be actually that I want to get, basically, I'd like to be able to take a decent photograph of this area when everything's said and done. So I think I'm going to try to get the, oh, I still don't, I need to put in bridge ties there before I ballast. I didn't notice that I didn't have them there. So maybe I'll get those 2 tie gaps filled. Interesting tip, Tim, thanks. Interesting, Dale. Just grabbing a scrap piece of track so I can get some ties for the bridge rail here. John, welcome in. Happy to see you. A little bit of filing to prep these to go in that tie gap. Those look good. I'm just gonna get a piece of painter's tape as well to put over the points of the switch before I start ballasting. Actually, I'll just use regular masking tape, but who's counting? Dan, welcome into you as well. Happy to see you. Hopefully that'll protect my points from getting any crazy ballast in there. Okay. Get a little bit of glue on the bottom of these ties. Slide them in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so those are in, and I can actually kind of ballast this little section of track so that I can take a halfway decent looking photo. Before I do that though, I'm actually still want to get the back side of this in. .4 miles. Nice, Garrett. That was a little over on my estimation too, sounds like. Gotta be careful with this finer ballast. You need to just come in with a second coat of it eventually. Okay. Oh geez, that did not go well. Oh boy. Couple of little chunks of pink foam floating around in there. I'm just going to grab a pair of tweezers so I can get those out of there once and for all. It's so crazy. I'm towards the corner of my house where there's a gutter and a lot of snow melting, and I can hear snow plopping on the ground right now. Canadian Locomotive Works, welcome in. Happy to have you. All right. Not able to do what I normally do to smooth out ballast, just because of the angle we're working at. pretty happy with most of this. I'd like this to look a little bit smoother maybe. And then as we work our way onto the main line itself, I'll have to sort of blend this a little bit. A little bit more. Apologies that I'm not very talkative while working on ballasting. Takes a little bit of focus for me. Another chunk of pink foam. I thought I vacuumed over here, but maybe I just didn't at all. Okay, almost got a smooth transition on that side. A little bit more here. A little bit more up towards the switch stand. Okay, good there. Yeah, same here, Tim. Lots of snow. I'm hoping, I still got some slush on my driveway that I'm hoping to get rid of. Oops, sorry to shake you guys. There you go, that's better. Hoping my driveway's clear for this weekend, so nobody's got to worry about tripping and falling. Okay, still need to build my little concrete pad that's going to go up here, so I'll probably hold off doing the ballasting on that side, but I can at least do like switch back. We'll get that done. Trying to be really careful around that caboose throw. I'd really rather not have to fiddle with that too much. Okay, I think I'm good with it. Now, just don't sneeze. Okay. Start working on the outside of this now. I don't know how you guys normally ballast, but I usually... Oh man, cracked the shovel, that stinks. What does it look like at track level, Canadian Locomotive Works? That might be tough for me to show you. I mean, I could check myself if you're suggesting I should verify. Oh, I know what you're getting at. What does it look like for a cab car? Well, I've got one, so at some point I can do a video of that. You ballast with a lot of pain and suffering. It's less pain and suffering if you use real rock and not walnut shell. I can tell you that much. I might actually have to bust into my big bulk container finally. I'm so low on this one. The thing I really like about using the real rock is that I can literally just use my thumb to smooth it all off the ties and move it around a little bit, and it doesn't just go flying everywhere like the walnut shell does. Pretty happy there. Man, you guys are just dealing with shadows left and right, I just realized. That ought to be a little bit better. Walnut shell is the Woodland Scenics ballast, Banu. That's what they make theirs out of. I'm using Scenic Express ballast, which is real rock. Oh, that stinks, Tim. Oops. It really stinks that they didn't show up today. It was a nice day to be working. They should suffer for that. Definitely going to have to come back in with some washes to alter the color of this ballast a little bit. It feels too uniform. I like to mix in. I had most of what I've done across the rest of the layout I mixed in a little bit of Arizona rock and mineral ballast that had like some warmer toned rock in there. This is all like just cool tone rocks, which is, you know, fine, but it's not exactly, doesn't feel quite right to me, if that makes any sort of sense. Yeah, like what I'm doing here with my thumb, anytime I've ever tried to do that with wooden Scenics ballast, just sends it flying everywhere. Whereas doing it with the real rock, it just settles down into place, which is really nice. They haven't even gotten the permits yet, geez. This is my least favorite thing to ballast, turnouts. We don't have we don't have Dennis streaming behind us tonight, so I'm not going to go too much over 9 o'clock, but I will at least get this to kind of a natural stopping point. Maybe get some ISO and glue down. I keep my points relatively clean here. Piece of old cake down ballast on that turnout. That's awesome, Banu. Man, I'm so looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Springfield was such a blast, but you know, getting cut short was a bit of a bummer. I don't know how social I'll really be able to be, you know, part because of the fact that I'm, you know, on the organizing committee for the RPM, but you know, we'll see. Just a little bit back here. Oh, my light just went dead. It's just a little battery operated one. All right, just got a tad bit more ballasting to do here. Not a ton. And I just dumped a whole bunch right into the points of the switch. Sweet. I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking overall. I might need a little bit way back here. Yeah, we'll see, Garrett. I don't know how much I'll get, but I would like to, you know, at least run a couple of trains on the Fremo modules, you know, but we'll see. We put out the call for help to the Lakeshores division. Cough, cough. Garrett and Josh, if you're watching, if you feel like you're willing to volunteer a couple of hours of time, it'd be greatly appreciated, I'm sure. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. I am. See if we can get that leveled out a little bit. Back here a little bit. Had it good. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get a nice light coat of ISO down on all of this. I did clear coat my paint work on everything, just so that hopefully I don't have a major risk of damage. I got my diluted Mod Podge here. Cool, Garrett. There was a list that went out to everybody by email. Hopefully you got that. Oh, I didn't get enough ISO into this embankment. And you can sign up there, Garrett, if you're willing to assist a little bit. I'll have to go back in and touch that up. Oh well. Oh, that was way too much glue. Come on. Okay, Well, I'm gonna let that dry, and maybe tomorrow night, if I have some time, I'll get my platform built up for this side, and then I should be pretty much good to go over here. Should be ready to rock and take some great photos of stuff in the shop. So that should be pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. It was a blast to hang out with you guys. There is new content coming this week on the channel. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss it. But there'll be a brand new video coming out on Friday, I believe, which is just some rail fanning of the layout with the newly completed Genesee, Wyoming transportation engines. So should be a pretty fun video to just sit back, relax, and watch some trains run. So pretty cool. But thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.